Welcome back to Crystal Clear. I'm ARTWITHKODA, and after having the opportunity to watch Steg Multiverse the movie with friends for their first viewing of the film multiple times on multiple days at multiple locations, I can confidently say, alongside internet reactions, that the biggest surprise in the film was none other than Steg Multiverse, the fusion between Steven and Greg. And how could you not be taken aback by this fusion? He can make people float in the air and fly. Steven's and Greg's guitars fused into one double neck guitar that he plays. And the obvious statement that I'm avoiding, he's uncomfortably hot? Not even because he's a fusion between Steven and his father. But I mean, come on, when has anyone in the series ever had abs this defined before? Heck, we see his abs just as much as we see his face. So yes, while Steg's design is definitely the most shocking aspect of the fusion, his original design is a complete departure from how he looks now. So let's take a look and figure out just why this design was changed. Let's dive in. So recently at Kaitrin Studios, there was a Steven Universe art show to celebrate the movie. Crew universe alike contributing original pieces, production art, and concept art. Obviously the biggest one, at least from what was showcased on social media, was the original look for Steg. Now I'm sure this design could also be one in many drafts, but I could personally buy this being the first design, as the reason why they could have changed it makes a lot of sense. But like, let's just take a look. The first thing that actually captivated my eye was Steg's ripped Red Star shirt, which indicates to me this was so early in production, they weren't entirely sure on Steven's new look just yet, and that possibly somewhere within Cartoon Network Studios, multiple drafts of Teen Vin exist, some where his outfit may not have changed much at all. But actually commenting on the fusion himself, this version of Steg is rocking a bumpy mohawk that seems to extend into a ponytail, much like the final version of Steg, but with a very weird shape attached to the end. Seriously, I got nothing. I think it's just meant to look cool and spiky, and it changes throughout like 3 of the sketches. But unlike the current Steg's pompadour ponytail, this version of Steg doesn't sport nearly as much hair, but instead goes for a crazier style. Although it kind of fits, given the nature of Greg's hair before he went completely bald, at least at the top of his head. In terms of both his facial structure and just overall body, this version of Steg still has a defined jawline, but really seems to take after not just Greg, but the adult version of Steven that appeared in the episode So Many Birthdays. Like right down to the 5 o'clock shadow. This draft of Steg still has 4 arms, but his second pair, kinda like some other fusions we see, are much smaller in comparison, whereas the current Steg just has 4 long, beefy arms. Something else worth noting is that this Steg has wrinkles. Like, a lot of wrinkles, right down to the point where Sugar contemplated giving him crow's feet. And it also looks like Steg kind of has a belly here. Definitely no 6 or 8 packs in sight. Ultimately, this Steg looks a lot closer to how everyone would assume Steg looks like. It's taking the factors of combined ages, like with Stevani, it's calling back to a previous form of Steven with his adult self, or at least how he thinks he'll look as an adult. And instead of getting jacked, this Steg takes the phrase dad bod to a whole nother level. And I think it's the nature of, oh yes, this is exactly what their fusion would look like, that caused the design of Steg to change. Why the Steg we have is so drastically different. Because that's a huge point of a lot of Steven's fusions in Steven Universe. Pretty much every single one of his fusions subvert the audience's expectations. I don't think many people expected Stevani to look like a full-blown adult. I don't think anybody expected Smokey Quartz to only have 3 arms. And instead of creating new clothes, just mashing Steven's clothes together. Although yes, that's what happened with Stevani, but that's because Steven's human. We weren't sure at the time if fusion rules would take after Steven's rules or the standard gem rules. I don't think anybody expected Rainbow 2.0 to have he, him pronouns and have a male voice actor. And I don't think anybody expected Sunstone to just be, well, a sun. A big old 80s cartoony sun. As for Obsidian, I'm sure most expectations were, oh, Steven's Obsidian may look identical to Rose's Obsidian, if not with a few minor differences. But instead, it looks like the Obsidian at the temple is a lot more elegant and majestic, while Steven's Obsidian is much more raw and straightforward. No fusion in Steven Universe should ever be too easy to get right. So instead of creating the obvious fusion with Steg, they went all out and created the final sex icon of the 2010s. Prove me wrong. But as always, I want to hear what you guys think. How do you feel about this crazy original design for Steg? Prefer it, hate it, indifferent? Let us know in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at ARTWITHKODA. We're also on Instagram. Special thanks to ARTWITHKODA for creating an awesome thumbnail. For more of his wonderful art, you can find him on Tumblr and Instagram at ARTWITHKODA, and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Link down below in the description. Help Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. ARTWITHKODA signing out.